So let's dive right in. We're talking about a decision that for a CFO can be a career-defining moment. Picking the right partner for a finance transformation. And look, this isn't just about getting some new software. It's about fundamentally changing your finance department from a cost center into a strategic weapon for your business. If that sounds like what you're trying to do, you are in exactly the right place. And the stakes, they couldn't be higher. This quote right here just nails the problem. So many companies get this wrong. And a misstep doesn't just waste a ton of money, it leads to projects that completely fall apart, expensive tech that nobody uses, and a finance team that is just burned out and demoralized. Our goal here is to give you a clear roadmap to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So, here's our game plan. We've broken this down into 5 parts. First, we'll talk about why this is such a high-stakes game. Then, we'll build the foundation, getting your strategy straight. After that, we'll get into the weeds of evaluating partners and their capabilities. And finally, we'll look at the big payoff, what success really looks like. Okay, part 1, the high-stakes transformation. Why is everyone talking about this right now? Well, it's about a massive shift. It's about moving your finance team from just crunching numbers and looking backward to being a forward-looking strategic partner that drives the entire business forward. You know, it's so easy to get distracted by the shiny new toy, right? The latest AI or automation platform. But what's really crucial to remember is this. As a CFO, nobody's going to measure your success by the tech you bought. They're going to measure you by the results. Are you closing the books faster? Is your compliance bulletproof? Can you point to hard numbers that show you're making the business run better? That's the real scorecard. And that leads us perfectly into part 2, which is honestly the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Strategy first. The number one mistake I see companies make is they start looking at vendors before they even know what they're trying to fix. You have to know your why before you even think about choosing your who. So how do you do it? It's pretty straightforward. Step 1, get super specific about your pain points. I mean, where are things breaking down? Where are the compliance risks keeping you up at night? Step 2, turn those problems into numbers, into KPIs. You're not just vaguely improving the close. No, you are reducing the close time from 10 days down to 6. See the difference? And finally, get your whole leadership team to agree on these outcomes. That becomes your roadmap. And here's the magic. That internal strategy document you just created, it becomes your ultimate filter. Because a real partner will want to see it. They'll start by asking about your goals. Anyone who just jumps straight into a product demo, they're not a partner, they're a salesperson. It's a huge red flag. All right, so you've got your strategy locked in. Now we're ready for part 3, evaluating core capabilities. This is where the real due diligence begins. We're going to talk about how you vet their tech skills, their experience with complex integrations, and, this is a big one, how well they actually understand your specific industry. Now, you're going to face a major choice, and you can see it laid out here. Do you try to stitch together a bunch of different specialized vendors, or do you find one partner who can handle the whole thing end to end? Going with a bunch of specialists might seem appealing, but it is a recipe for integration headaches and missed opportunities. A true partner sees the entire picture, from procure to pay all the way to financial planning. For a CFO, that unified approach means way less risk and a much higher chance of success. So as you're vetting these potential partners, here are 4 absolute must-haves you need to grill them on. First, have they actually done this in your industry before? Ask for proof. Second, show me the receipts. I want to see real, proven examples of how your automation has worked for other clients. Third, how good are you at data? Not just collecting it, but turning it into insights that we can actually use. And finally, the million-dollar question. Can you make all of our different systems talk to each other without causing a meltdown? Okay, so this whole explainer is really focused on the how, giving you a framework to make a smart choice. But it definitely helps to know who some of the major players are that you'll probably run into out there. Now, you're going to see a lot of names, but 3 of the firms that consistently come up as top-tier providers in finance transformation are WNS, Deloitte, and EY. These are the kinds of companies with deep experience and a long track record of handling these big, complex projects. Let's move on to part 4, and this is where you really start to separate the good from the great. We're talking about the partnership itself. This isn't a one-and-done implementation. You're looking for a partner who's in it for the long haul, someone who's going to help you grow and adapt for years to come. For any CFO, this is probably the most important slide. You absolutely cannot get this wrong. Your partner has to be a world-class expert in governance and compliance. They need to know your regulatory world inside and out, whether it's SOX, GDPR, you name it. A mistake here can lead to massive fines and damage to your reputation. The right partner helps you build a system that makes your auditors happy from day one. So what's the actual ROI on all this work? Well, check out this number. A well-executed transformation can slash manual repetitive work by up to 50%. 50! Just take a second and think about what your most talented people could achieve if you gave them back half their time. That is a huge competitive advantage. And this table right here, this is the before and after snapshot you should be aiming for. These are the kind of hard, measurable results that define success. We're talking about cutting your month-end close time almost in half, taking compliance risk from high to low, and making your forecasts 3 times more accurate. This is how you prove the value of your investment to the board. Your business isn't going to stand still, so your finance platform can't either. This is all about future-proofing. Does the partner offer a scalable, cloud-based solution? Do they have a clear roadmap for where their tech is going? Are they committed to working with you to continuously improve, even years after the go-live date? You're not just buying a fix for today's problems, you're investing in a platform for the future. Now let's talk about something that is so critical, but often gets overlooked: change management. You can have the greatest technology in the world, but if your people don't embrace it and use it, the project is a failure, period. A great partner brings a real structured plan to the table for communication, training, and getting buy-in across the organization. This is what makes the change stick. Okay, let's bring it all home. Part 5, the payoff. After all that work, what does victory actually look like? But first, a quick look at the biggest landmines to avoid. Think of this as your what not to do checklist. Don't pick a partner just because they're the cheapest. Don't buy technology without a crystal clear strategy. Never, ever ignore the people side of things. Change management is key. And always define what success looks like before you start. If you can avoid these 4 traps, your odds of success go way, way up. And this is the grand prize. The real payoff isn't just a faster close or a cool new dashboard. It's about elevating the entire role of finance in your company. It's about freeing your smartest people from tedious manual work so they can focus on what really matters, delivering the strategic insights that will shape the future of your business. I think this final quote just sums it all up perfectly. At the end of the day, the technology is just the tool. It's the enabler. The real goal is a finance team that operates on a completely different level, one that's smarter, faster, and far more strategic. That is the true measure of success. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your finance team today, right now, what do you see? Are they primarily processing transactions, or are they a true strategic partner to the business? The right transformation with the right partner is what makes that leap possible.